Okay, love you.
Okay, love you. I'll start when I hear the door close because I get too nervous. Okay, we can begin. Okay, we are finally doing this. I am finally doing this. I am announcing the next little bit of big news that I am doing a YouTube channel. So this is the first episode, hopefully one of many. So welcome. This is called And You Are. So the reason behind that, well, there's a few, but one is I've been in TV, or I was in TV for 10 years basically, and I was always the new kid, so people would always say like, and you are, or are you the intern, are you a student, you're that girl, what's her name? So I got that a lot. So it's kind of an homage to that, to like my humbling 10 years in media. And also it's this new recalibration of identity, like, and you are, like, and you are now, without this job title, without this thing you've had for the last 10 years that you've worked ceaselessly for since you were 16 at least. So it's been a really cool adjustment, and this is going to be part of it. This is part of it, where I get to just be myself. And not that I wasn't myself on air, because that's what I really tried to do. Like before every newscast, I'd always say, like, in my head, not out loud, I'd say, just be Kelly. Just be Kelly. So like, be Kelly with this sad story, be Kelly with this happy story. But now I'm just like being Kelly, like all the time. And it's super exciting, but it's also really scary. And I don't know, I've been thinking for months, like, should I do this? Should I not? Because I'm used to criticism. I'm used to people online saying things. But when they're critical of you, when you're in that role, you can separate it from yourself, because while I was still being myself, I was still playing the anchor. I was the anchor. So when they didn't like you, I didn't take it that personally. I just said, well, they didn't like that story. They don't like my delivery, whatever. It's not me, like who I am. And so like being this vulnerable online, I was said on air, I'm so used to that. But being this vulnerable at all, period, is scary, because then when people criticize you, like they're criticizing you, like it's your life. So I had to kind of like get over that and deal with that, and also what people are going to think. And I'm just trying not to be attached to outcome and just be really excited about this, because I think it is super exciting. Like there's a reason I've been thinking about it for so long, because I think there's a lot to talk about. Like not just media, but if you're getting into media, getting out of media, that's a major life change. And that applies to like leaving a job, a relationship, like any big transition you're going through. There's hilarious stories and sad stories and like so like the most embarrassing stories you can imagine from the last 10 years that I can also tell you. So we'll have all of that, and hopefully some amazing guests too, because I know so many amazing women in this industry, and that's been the biggest gift of the last 10 years for sure, keeping in touch with people all across Canada. And I want to talk to them and get their stories and you know, what they've learned. And then we can all kind of have this place, good vibes only, by the way, but we can all kind of come and talk and share and ask questions and like deal with going through like what being a woman in a career, trying to balance life and family and working out and like all the impossible standards we put on ourselves, like what that's like. So I definitely have stories that relate to that. And so I'm super excited to talk about those. So we'll get to that. But I do want to tell you, just give you a quick update where I am now, because there's been some amazing people who follow me online that have asked, you know, like, what's next for you? What are you doing since leaving media? So a quick update. I am having a baby. Let's start with the big news first. I found out I was pregnant 2 weeks after I quit my full-time job. And it's been like the craziest ride since. And now here we are talking about it. So they always say like talk from your scars, not your wounds. And I'm definitely in a place now where I can talk about the last 6 months, the last 10 years, and like hopefully laugh at myself, because it's been a lot. So I quit my job in June, just like suffering intense burnout, which I think like I'm not alone in. So that's a lot to talk about too and unpack. And also the pandemic put in perspective, like, what do I want out of my life? Like, do I want to work evenings and weekends and mornings and not sleep and not see my friends and not travel and visit my family? Or do I want a career that lets me do all those things, that lets me live more of my life? Because going through COVID, like, the biggest thing I've learned is, like, nothing is guaranteed. I always just kind of took it for granted, but it really makes me look through life through a different lens. And so it's just kind of like, okay, well, you got one of these, what do you want to do with it? So this is part of what I want to do with it. So quit my job. 2 weeks later, found out I was expecting, and it was like the shock of our lives. My life. Just because I just felt so unemployed and, like, so scared about what the future would hold. And, like, now I'm responsible just not for me, but for this little baby. And so the first 3 months were a little tough because I've just also started a company. So that's, like, how many, like, different things happening all at once in my life. So the company starts doing better. I get freelance, and I just, like, calm the F down. So here I am, like, calm. Although this took 3 tries, because the first time I tried to record this, I was way too nervous and sweated the whole time, and it's all garbage. And the second time, the memory card ran out of time. So hopefully this is recording, and hopefully you can hang out every week, because as you can tell, there's a lot to talk about. Like, I got stories, you got stories, and I really want questions too. Like, if you're wondering if you want to get into the industry, if you want to leave it, if you are dealing with another major life transition, if you have one of your own stories you want to share that you think could be, like, a learning experience for all of us, whoever's tuning in, please send me your stories, your questions, everything. And that's just going to be like a weekly chat. Everything that I've been through, I think you've been through, I just happened to do it on live TV. So luckily for all of us, there's a lot of footage of that. And I think that there's just a lot that we all go through in the early parts of our lives where we're trying to figure out who we are and grapple with life. Like, it never gets easy. The transitions never stop coming. We just need to learn how to deal with them, I think. So that is all to say, here we are at this YouTube channel once a week. Now that I've said it, it's happening, it's real. I have to deliver on that, which is good. Terrifying, but good. And I really want to hear from you. And you're going to hear this from me a lot, which is like and subscribe. But we're just like a little baby channel and we need help. So anything you can do. I know you guys are amazing, so I'm hoping you'll give it a like and subscribe. And then whenever there's a new video, it just, like, pops up and alerts you. I think. I don't really know YouTube yet, but we'll get there. Either way, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Everybody that has, like, wished me well, whether it was when I was leaving media, starting the company, having the baby, which, by the way, she's due in March. Thank you, and thank you for watching this. And hopefully, I'll see you next week.